Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha with Ice Cream Fitness here. I was going to do a different topic today, but I've got a topic I want to address because it's just been eating at me a little bit due to a number of different events. But hold on, let me give you guys a bicep shot first. Alright, and the topic I want to talk to you guys today is about unrealistic expectations and unrealistic standards as a result of the fitness and bodybuilding industry. Just like we've had culturally people with women, the modeling sets unrealistic and even unhealthy expectations. I think the fitness industry for men has now got to the point to where it has done the same thing. And I'll give you a couple of different examples. And one of the examples I saw is that people's standards are so high that the other day, Chris Jones and Vince Garza had put up a video, I think it was like a progress video on physiques of greatness. And I saw a lot of people kind of ragging on Vince's physique, and I'm just kind of stepping back going, now wait a minute. This guy hasn't really been training that long. I mean, you can't really compare him to someone like Chris. He's standing there next to Chris, who has 1, good genetics, 2, trains his ass off, and 3, has been training for like 7 years. If you don't have a good amount of muscle mass and you don't look fairly good when you diet down decently lean after 7 years of hard training, there's something wrong. So obviously Chris is going to look better than Vince. But by that same token, I mean, people were ragging on him when realistically he looks better than the average guy in a gym. You walk into a gym and you look at the average person who's had a gym membership for 2 or 3 years. He has more muscle than they do. He looks better than they do. The average guy who works out a little bit, when you go down to the beach and have their shirt off and compare him, he actually looks better than they do. So he is actually above average for people who work out, regularly. Yet he is being ragged on for his physique. I mean, what sort of fucked up situation is that, to where our standards are so high that someone who looks better than the average person who's been working out for 2 or 3 years gets ragged on for showing their physique while they're trying to give advice to people? Stop and think about that for a minute. And that's how far our standards have come. If you don't look like you're juicing your brains out, you're out of shape, you don't have a nice physique. That's the standards that we have set by the industry. So someone who just has an above average physique, who actually looks like they work out and looks pretty good, now has a crap physique because our standards are so high, when 90% of the population looks like total shit and doesn't work out at all. And a lot of this has to do with the false expectations of the industry, and a lot of it I blame the social and legal stigma against steroids, because that is what has created this fake natural thing. And that's another big problem we have, is that we have so many fake naturals out there. And I just saw one earlier on a Facebook page, and because some other people who I am friends with commented on it, and this guy had said, my natural transformation. And the guy's obviously definitely used quite a bit of tren. Definitely on tren in those pictures. 100% chance that guy is on tren. He is also definitely on some sort of DHT based drug like Masteron or Anavar in those pictures. Not even subject to debate, and anyone who can't see that is completely ignorant of the topic. They do not know anything about gear if they can't see that he is on both of those things in that picture. People were getting ragged on for ragging on him for saying natural transformation when he obviously isn't. And there were people defending him and talking about, oh, it's just you're jealous of his hard work. When I don't think that's the case at all. It's the fact that people are mad because he's lying. Because that's a perfect example of what we have. It sets unrealistic expectations. And I've noticed that any time, because people want to believe that people are natural so bad because there's this moral stigma against being enhanced, that if anybody claims it, they're always going to get a big body of defenders, no matter if they're obviously using or not. And it is so bad at this point that if I, in 2 to 3 years' time, if I reach my goals and I hit a 500-pound bench press and a 650-pound squat, and I pull down all of my videos talking about gear talk, and I go hit them at a drug-tested meet and pass the drug test, which that's hypothetical, guys. I would absolutely not enter a drug-free or tested event, even though I know how to pass the test. I just don't believe in it ethically. But if I were to do that and then I said, oh, look at my drug-free natural lifts. Even people who remembered my old videos who came and spoke out, there would probably be hundreds of people who would just call them lazy and jealous, and that they're jealous of my hard work, and they just, because they can't do it drug-free, that they're just jealous of my hard work. And there would be people who would defend me. And those people would be morons, but they would defend me. And that's the problem we have with this situation, is that we have all of these unrealistic expectations set by the industry. And it's now at the point now to where if you don't look like Z's, you don't have a nice physique. And Z's used a gram of tren a week, which is borderline insane in my opinion. And I'm not saying a person can't get to that level of size or leanness drug-free, but he couldn't. And yeah, so that just bothers me. And so guys, that's what I have to say on that. Stop using other people for your comparisons, and stop using the extreme examples of what you see in the fitness industry, in the bodybuilding world, even the natural and drug-free world, as your basis of your goals and how you assess other people. And try to be more realistic in it. I'm not telling you not to reach for the stars or to reach your fullest potential, because you should. You should be trying to reach your greatest potential, and you should be training hard, and you should be eating right, and you should be trying to learn more, and you should be putting 100% effort into reaching your goals. But if you're not on gear, stop using people as examples who probably are, and be realistic about it. And since you don't always even know, stop using other people in the industry in general, because if they're highlighted in the industry, odds are they are on something no matter what they claim. So instead, compare against yourself, compete against yourself. What you need to look at is, am I better than I was a month ago or 2 months ago? And that's how you need to judge your success. Did you gain muscle? Did you lose fat? Did you gain strength? Did you gain performance in something you care about? Have you improved your fitness level, your performance, or your physique in some way since where you were a month or two ago? And if you consistently do that, at least you know that you are always getting better, rather than comparing yourself and saying, hey, this is my goal, and picking an individual who it might be unrealistic for you to be where they are, either due to a combination of genetics and drugs that you're not willing to use. So stop using other people as your basis of how you judge yourself, and instead compete against yourself. And it's the same thing when you guys judge other people. Because again, when we get guys who look like Vince Garza does, who stand up and take their shirt off and people are telling him he has a terrible physique, we all know good and well if that guy walked down the beach with his shirt off, there would be girls admiring him. And there would be other guys jealous of his physique while he's walking down the beach. And if you put that into a real world standard like that, and you don't compare him based upon competitive bodybuilding standards, it's just simply unrealistic to tell someone like that that they have a bad physique. It's not only unrealistic, it's moronic. Alright guys, that's just kind of my rant on that today. That's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.